I got two animals that I believe both have the very same bonus surprise recessive gene. One I know does. One I've proven. The other one I'm real close to figuring that out. I need your input on what strategy to take on them. And the funny thing is that I paired them together last year, and I've got some of their holdbacks. So I've got this whole world of new opportunity, and I've kind of jumped in front of the line on a double recessive project that I had no idea I was doing that. Stick around. Let me tell you all about it. What's going on, everybody? It's Adam at Proper Royals. I hope that you're doing very, very well today. Thanks for coming to the show, stopping by, checking it out. If we've not met before, this channel is all about my family's journey from ball python hobbyist to ball python business, and we document everything right here. Check out the Linktree app below. You can find out everywhere that Proper Royals is on the web. And I've got to say thank you to the sponsoring shipping partner, Redline Shipping. They're the only shipping company that I use, and because of our relationship, I can pass on great prices to those of you all that purchase animals from me. I can ship them cheaper than nearly everybody in the industry. If you haven't checked them out, you should go check them out and use the promo code PROPER5 at checkout. Get yourself an extra $5 off their already really, really competitive rates. Shoot me an email at properroyals@gmail.com and I'll put you on the monthly mailing list. I send out my full inventory of available animals. There's a lot that I don't put on Morph Market, and I love to stay in touch with you. One email a month, no spam. I don't sell your stuff, none of that. So I got a little bit of a saga to tell you about, but I've been thinking about it because it's a fun story, and it's a fun story about like starting out when I was early days starting out, which is coming up on 3 years ago now, and then to where I'm at now, and some of the lessons I learned along the way and some of the benefits. But one of them is, I'll spill the beans a little bit, is that one of my females has proven to be hypo. And I know you're going, well, how, if it's a visual hypo, how wouldn't you know? It's a banana, which is hard for me to see. I have some color blindness issues, but also hypo on banana is just tough to see in the first place. Plus, I wasn't looking for it all this time. I just figured she was just a washed out banana. That's kind of what happens when they get big, right? It turns out now, I think that another animal that I bought, again, in my very early days, under some suspect conditions, I'll tell you all about their circumstances, conditions, circumstances, whatever it is. Both kind of funny stories. I'll tell you what I think there. Let's not jump the gun here. But I need your help because I, amazingly, coincidentally enough, have been pairing these animals starting 2 years ago back. I have holdbacks that they both produced. So now I'm truly believe that I can jump in front of the line on a double recessive project without having to buy my way forward, which can be expensive when you're getting into double recessives. Let me just start at the start and I'll tell you about it. Those of y'all that have watched my channel a lot, you'll see that I got a whole new setup in here. I flipped my desk around. Some of it, you guys know I talk about systems and processes and efficiency. My desk was causing a choke point where I was having to slow down my work. I got my grow out rack right here. I got a hatchling rack right there, and then where that light's coming from back there under the mini split AC, that's my breeder collection back there, my mature collection. I use all this space. I need the efficiency in the space. So what I did was I pushed my desk against the wall instead of it being in kind of the primary walkway. Now I have this backdrop and there, that is the sink. That's the one everybody talks about. There's the big sink right there. We can always check it out. It's always like sitting right on my shoulder, right there. Okay, so when I was starting out on ball pythons, I didn't really intend to breed, and then I saw Morph Market one day, and then I did intend to breed, and I would look for, I couldn't afford, nice snakes. Nice. They're all nice snakes. I couldn't afford the boutique, highly expensive investment grade snakes. I'm naturally a bit thrifty. I've been told this, I get it, no problem. So I was always looking for deals, and I, in retrospect, have to recommend that you don't pursue this path. There's a lot of uncertainty buying from just, you know, unscrupulous sellers, buying from non-established breeders, and I don't mean that in a snobby way. I always resented people telling me, oh, only buy from established breeders. Sounds like a good old boys club where we can't allow anybody else in, you know, only buy from established breeders. So, well, how are you ever going to get established if nobody buys from you, right? That's a whole other video. You do what you got to do to get by, and I would look on like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and find deals on animals, and I would buy them on those places, and I would use Morph Market too, especially like you could use the store map on Morph Market and find local deals that you didn't have to worry about shipping or whatever it might be. In this first instance, I was living in North Carolina. I drove down to Columbia, South Carolina to a Chick-fil-A in Columbia, and I picked up these 2 breeder-sized females. They were mature females. They were owned by, I think they were classroom pets, but they were owned by a school teacher. She breeds other reptiles, but she had never bred ball pythons. And one was a banana, and she told me the banana was het pied. In a different story, which I've told many times, the other was a normal that she believed was double het for pied albino. That animal was proven to be normal. After, you know, it happens. I don't knock her. It was a great deal. She was a pet owner. She wasn't the breeder. We're cool. We still keep in touch. We're all cool. Everything's fine on that. The normal proves to be, or the double het proves to be normal. That's kind of the end of the story on that one. The other one, and I call her Letty, so we'll just stick with me. Short for Scarlet. Yeah, Letty. So she's a banana. Het Hypo is what she was sold to me as, and I breed her, and last year I paired her to a pastel clown male that I got. I got kind of a wild clutch, and I'll just leave it there for right now because I'm going to pick that apart. So I get the 2 snakes in the Chick-fil-A parking lot. One of them proves to not be what was sold to me. The other is Banana Hypo. Some other time later, I'm doing the same sort of thing, and I think I drove over to Charlotte or somewhere around there to pick up another snake, and I'm at a gas station parking lot. This snake at the time was the biggest snake I'd ever bought. He was a mature male clown. The owners pull up. The guy has no shirt on. The snake is wrapped around his neck, just driving up. Hey, here you go, bro. And I'm like, I don't know that I should buy this, but I was ready. I was in it. I was gonna buy it. I did buy him, and he's proven to be a great animal. His we call him Strike. He was I quarantined him in a glass aquarium, and I don't think he'd ever been in glass before, and it freaked him out, all the reflections and everything. And he would strike at me. We'd call him Strike. But since then, and once he's in a tub, he's the most docile teddy bear of an animal you can imagine. So I call him Strike, but he's one of our nicest snakes. I paired Letty and Strike together last season, and I got a great clutch of beautiful looking bananas and some kind of crazy odds. I think 6 of 7 were bananas, or 6 of 8, something really great. It's just a good, that was my first year breeding, and that was my first clutch ever. But I couldn't, so it should have only been normals, bananas, pastels, and pastel bananas. They would have been 50% hypo and 100% clown. And that was all that I should have gotten. I got 6 visually different looking snakes. I mean, clearly unique looking snakes, way more than 4 combinations. And I was like, what is going on in there? And I know it's an inside joke. We all chuckle when somebody else goes, I think there's something going on in there. You're like, yeah, it's a normal, dude. That's what it is. I don't know. I didn't think too much of it. So I held back a female and a male of it. The male is really dark purple, still a year later, dark oranges, dark purple, almost if I had to guess, I would have said a black pastel kind of looking thing, but its patterns don't match that. And a female that was really washed out, pastel looking, but looked different than the other one that I thought was pastel, that looked different from another one that I thought was pastel. So I couldn't quite figure it out. In a twist of good fortune, somebody who's become a really good breeder buddy of mine, Mark at 403 Fauna, Mark bought one of the female bananas from me. Banana het clown, 50% het hypo. Another person that I've kept in touch with, you can check her pictures out at Muscles and Fish on Instagram. She bought a really cool female from me that had a paradox, but that animal glowed, and Mark's animal was like electric glow. Like way more now in my experience than bananas have. So I was like, what's going on? Fast forward to this year, I paired Letty, the female banana, I paired her to a Super Mojave Hypo. Should get 50% Hypos, so a visual Hypo to a het Hypo. And then I was looking for banana Mojaves, would have been the next best Codom option that came out of that. What I ended up getting was a clutch of all 7 of them. All 7, 6? Either 6 or 7. All animals were Hypo. 100% of them came out Hypo. And I was like, that's really, really good odds, visual to het, like you would expect. Okay, fine. The odds gods want to shine on me, no problem. So I'm talking through this, and Mark goes, Adam, do you ever think maybe Letty is Hypo? I said, nah, she's het Hypo. And then I was like, well, I did buy her in a Chick-fil-A parking lot, and the other animal that I bought proved not to be what they said. I said, yeah, but it's banana. I mean, I gotta wait another year and try and prove her again and see if I get another 100% Hypo clutch. Then another one of my breeder friends, I'm having this conversation with him, and I'm gonna protect the innocent here because I can't recommend doing this. But he says to me, Adam, I'll tell you how to prove whether that Hypo or whether that banana's Hypo or het Hypo. I said, oh yeah, how are you gonna do that? And he says, and again, I'm not advocating doing this. I don't recommend this. I've only ever done it once. He says, find the darkest, biggest spot that you can on your banana. And when that animal is going into shed, circle that dot with a Sharpie marker. So I drew a circle on my snake around the biggest spot on Letty, and Hypo's sheds are perfectly clear. He said, if it's a het Hypo, if it's not visual, if it's het Hypo, inside that circle that you drew will be a dot on the shed. If it's Hypo, it's going to be perfectly clear, and the rest of the shed will be perfectly clear. I said, man, that is a sharp idea. You could probably guess where it's going. She sheds. There was no spot inside that circle whatsoever. So I'm relatively certain that I've proven Letty is actually visual Hypo. Her clutch was 100% Hypo. Her shed passes the shed test, so to speak. So I'm telling Mark this. I'm like, hey, Mark, you got now I'm convinced you have a het clown and a het Hypo female banana. That's good news. He goes, you know what, Adam? He goes, I think my hatchling that I bought is a Hypo. I said, no, she can't be Hypo. It's the mother is probably visual, but that's it. That's a het Hypo. He goes, I think it's a Hypo, man. I said, okay. I said, that would mean that my pastel clown is het Hypo. He goes, yeah, you think he is? I said, no. And he goes, why not? And I said, well, because he wasn't sold to me that way. He goes, look at these babies, man. So I never paid attention to the sheds of the 2 holdbacks that I have. Remember I told you one of them looks like a pastel that didn't look like any of the other pastel, and the other one's like super dark. So they don't look anything alike, but I can't make them fit to be any of those 4 combinations. I can't make them to be any of those. Then the pastel I can't make to be, we had a banana pastel in the clutch. She doesn't look like that. Anyway, I look at the shed last time from this female banana pastel, and it's crystal clear. Pale white, not crystal clear, as clear as a shed can be, excuse me, not like glass clear, they're not that clear, but no pattern whatsoever. And I said, wow. So then I touched base with my friend on Instagram, Muscles and Fish, and I asked her to send me some more pictures. That thing still glows like a year later. Very, very few dots. Same with Mark's, very, very few dots. One of them has dots like crazy, the other, a few, more than those other 2 I just told you, but the crystal clear shed. So now I'm thinking that my pastel clown can be het for Hypo as well. And so now here's where the perplexing question comes. 2 scenarios, stick with me. I have a male and a female holdback from this clutch I told you about. They're both banana. I think one or both are pastel, and I think one is Hypo, and I think one is double Hypo het clown, and one is double het Hypo clown. So if I breed them together, it's a very long shot on a hypo clown project, and it could be a banana hypo clown, which sounds cool, but then identifying it's a real hassle. But I could go down that path. Or next year when the female's mature, I could breed her back to the dad. He's a visual clown, so our odds of producing clowns go up, but it would be a het, potential het to het, or potential het to visual on the hypo, and I can't get my head around which way I should go, because I can increase the odds on the clowns and potentially prove him to be het hypo, or the het could just miss, and I wouldn't know if she was visual or het. I gotta think this through. This is where I need y'all's help. I've got a year to figure it out. It's a long time out, so I mean the video is sort of just a fun story about bonus genes, crazy things that happen when you're just going Wild West buying stuff. The other is, what should I do? So would you pair the for certain double het to double het, or would you pair the possible het hypo to the double het clown hypo female? The benefit of that is that you would greatly increase double your odds of getting clowns, but you could totally waste the opportunity on getting a double recessive if he doesn't prove. The two double hets, you have the opportunity for the double recessive, but it's a 1 in 16 shot. It's better than 0. But if I really think he's het hypo, then he's the one I should be breeding to the female. What do you recommend? What would you do? There's what I'm looking for. I mean, I need your input. That's my thought. So leave your thoughts in the comments. You can email me. You can always get in touch with me. All that kind of fun stuff. We can always chat. In the meantime, keep it right here on the Proper Royals channel. I'm going to let you know what I end up doing with these. I'll let you know what I end up doing with some of those holdbacks and the breeding plans that I have for them. And I'll tell you all about it right here on the Proper Royals channel. I cannot wait until I get to see you in the next video. Until then, see ya!